Shalom. Salakia. First and foremost, I'm going to begin this lesson by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Bukak Kudash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. And all praises, honor, and glory is definitely due to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. For the times we're living in, man, prophecies coming to pass, and it's very beautiful to see, beautiful times to be living in, man. But I want to play this video, and this is actually gonna be one of them, probably one of them "I told you so" videos. It's a little clip I was looking at here. Right here. It's a short clip. But I'm gonna say I told you so because this is about them wanting to draft women in the war. You know what I'm saying? And we've reported on this. Just like we reported that they would change the restrictions and lift the change the age restrictions and all that. You know, the age limit, that's what I was thinking about. But from the elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down, we've been telling you this, man. You know, and you women are not safe.
I told you last week that they were coming after our boys, and now they are coming after our daughters. They've dropped a U.S. military map that'll show you where women will be automatically signed up for the draft. If the policy becomes a law, these blue states that you see here are going to automatically enlist your daughters into the military. The NERP.
And just so you know, best believe it's already a law. Okay? It's already a law. Give me a second. Let me find that scripture. Isaiah 10:1. It says, "Warn to them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." Okay, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. Okay, and this what the scripture is speaking about, man. They wrote this is something they already got written. You know what I'm saying? They just ain't never brought it to your attention yet. You know, these are the grievousness that have been prescribed. Pre meaning before, scribed means written. It was written before. It says to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey. See, neither you women are going to be their prey. You know, and they shall rob the fatherless. Okay, and man, that's deep. So yeah, it's the times we're living in. But I just wanted to let you know this is already law, because she made that comment. If this becomes law, let me see if I can go back to that.
Into the military. The nerve of them fluffing it up by saying it's not like World War II where we need a lot of infantry. We need cyber experts. And it's not like World War II where we need a lot of infantry. We need cyber experts. And you see here are going to automatically, these blue states that you see here are going to automatically they're coming after our daughters. They've dropped a U.S. military map that'll show you where women will be automatically signed up for the draft. If the policy becomes a law, these blue
And that, whatever that was she showed, it was dated January of 2024. Okay? So if they was talking about it then, best believe it's already been pre-written. You know what I mean? I had to make that point, but let her
States that you see
continue.
here are going to automatically enlist your daughters into the military. The nerve of them fluffing it up by saying it's not like World War II where we need a lot of infantry. We need cyber experts and intelligence analysts, linguistics. Wait, there's a lot of women out there that can do this better than men. The sheer audacity to tell you that abortion care is not a medical care, but we can take your daughters from your homes and drop them into the military where their life will be at risk. No, you can't decide to kill your kid because you're not prepared to become a parent. Yet, we can kill your kid because we're ready for them to become a military agent.
Yep, yep. And see, like I said, we've been warning you. You know what I'm saying? But see, with everything she's talking about, you know, now you're complaining though. Now you're complaining because you women have been trusting in this devil. You know what I'm saying? So a couple of scriptures on that. Which one? Let me start at Ecclesiasticus. The book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach in the Apocrypha. I think it's chapter 12 and 10. Yeah, Sirach chapter 12 verse 10, it says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness." Look here, Eve, just because you made that pact between that serpent in the garden, he is still your enemy. He was never your friend or your partner to begin with. Okay? So you've been trusting in this devil. You know what I'm saying? And this devil's getting ready to show his horns now, and you seeing it. His horns are coming out. But see, women have never expected this. You know, that's why they at ease. So let me get that. Is that no? That's Isaiah chapter 32. So Isaiah chapter 32 verse 9, it says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech." Okay? "For many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come." I actually want to get this in the amplified version. You know, let me amplify that. So this is Isaiah chapter 32 and 9 in the Amplified. So it says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, you confident and careless daughters." Listen to what I am saying, you confident and careless daughters. Oh man. "In a little more than a year, you will be shaken with anxiety, you careless and complacent women, for the vintage shall fail, and the gathering will not come." Verse 11. It says, "Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Shudder your fear, you complacent ones. Strip yourselves bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins." Yeah, man, your nakedness is getting the show. You know what I'm saying? And see, these women finna realize, you know what I'm saying, that they really want to be women. Okay, you gonna see they so-called studs going back into that femininity. Okay, because they gonna want to avoid this war. You know what I'm saying? But you can't avoid it, man. And ultimately, you've been numbered to the sword. You know. Now a lot of women, there will be a lot of women saved. You know what I'm saying? Cause see, this is gonna ring in Isaiah 4:1 definitely. Okay. And so women are gonna be flocking to men. You know what I'm saying? Because the men of the Lord, at that time gonna be made finer than the golden wedge of Eartha. You know what I'm saying? And women gonna need protection. A lot of women gonna suck it up and go. A lot of our women gonna say, now I'm gonna get with this man and he'll protect me. You know, that's submission. You know what I'm saying? But see, women, this is how they're gonna learn, though. This is how they're gonna learn. Let's get what's I had here? It says Isaiah chapter 4 verse 6. It says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten thy law of thy God. I will also forget thy children. And you know, it's ironic, you know, just literally today at work, I'm working and I happen to pass by, you know, like a group of females, you know, women, you know, having a conversation, and one of them is telling the other ones how she can't be no more than maybe 20, 21 years old. But she was like, probably younger than that, but she was saying how she really wants to go to the Air Force. And I was like, I just literally sighed like that. You know, not where they could hear me. You know, of course, I'm not going to bring attention to myself. I'm not going to say nothing. But see, with everything that's going on, even in the middle of World War III, the war to end all wars, the war that's going to usher in the coming of Yahweh Shai, even in the midst of this, you still don't think we're actually in danger of going to war. Everything that's going on with Israel, everything and Israel and from that to Gaza to Palestine to Russia and Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? Venezuela, Iran now. You know what I'm saying? With everything going on, you're not paying attention, and the words are being spoken, and the prophets have been out teaching, and you didn't listen. So matter of fact, let me see if I can find this. I kind of forget how it's worded. Have stretched. It's like I forget what his scripture is. Maybe it's my arm. I'm gonna find this. I have to find it. If I have to, I'm gonna do a Google search of this stuff. So let me see. And it's probably I've stretched out my hand. Let's go to the chat. So this the book of Proverbs 1:24 says, "Because I have called and you refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded." Okay, and because we've been, like he said, he stretched out, he called. That's through the mouth of the prophets. He stretched out his hands through us doing these lessons. You know what I'm saying? That's how these lessons went to the four corners of the earth, man. But it's still so many of you that choose not to listen. You know, you reject the truth. So look here, so it says in this passage, stretched out my hand symbolizes God reaching out, offering wisdom or help, but being ignored. I agree. You know, our book of Isaiah, another example, book of Isaiah 65:2. I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people. You know, and Israel was a very rebellious people, especially Eve, man. Especially Eve. You know what I'm saying? And see, and so now there's a judgment for this, because see, with you making that pact as you did with Esau, okay, that was the biggest rebellious thing you could have done, but you made that pact with Esau and you lived it out throughout him living out his blessing. He shared it with you, and you're getting ready to see that you cannot trust this devil, man. You're getting ready to see it. Okay, but I'm gonna go back to the video. I want to let it play one more time so you can see. Okay, I mean, the scriptures don't lie, and we've been warning you, like I said. You know, that's why we say, let me let it, we say stay circumspect. You know what I'm saying? Stay circumspect. That means be aware of your surroundings, know what's going on around you and how it relates to the Bible, so you know the times you're living in. Here we are in the midst of World War III, at the beginning stages of World War III, and somebody really wants to go to the Air Force, while other people complaining about them already going to do a draft. Well, I guess at least she wants to get paid for it if she just joins. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
I told you last week that they were coming after our boys, and now they are coming after our daughters. They've dropped a U.S. military map that'll show you where women will be automatically signed up for the draft. If the policy becomes a law, these blue states that you see here are going to automatically enlist your daughters into the military. The nerve of them fluffing it up by saying it's not like World War II where we need a lot of infantry. We need cyber experts and intelligence analysts, linguistics. Wait. There's a lot of women out there that can do this better than men. The sheer...
That's another reason I pulled out that Ecclesiasticus 12:10. So let me get that. That'll be my last scripture for this lesson. I'm gonna get that again. Cause you see how they just blatantly lie right there. Ecclesiasticus 12:10. It says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt see, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away." And you women are finding out the hard way that this man is literally the devil. You know, where you thought everything that he was good, giving you your feminism, your pride rights, and all this here stuff that you've indulged yourself in. That's why the scriptures say a shameless woman is dead while she liveth. You see what I'm saying? Because look what it leads you to do, because you don't listen to righteousness. You don't listen to the word of light. You know what I'm saying? You listen to the words of darkness. That's why it says you're dead while you live it. You know? But you've been blinded by all this here that you've been given, and now this devil is showing you finally that you just can't trust your enemy, man. And you're gonna be running seeking after a man in the Lord, which happens to not be a so-called white man. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna be seeking help and mercy. You have to. You're gonna have to ask yourself then: was it really worth it? Ask yourself that now. Was it worth it? Not at all to me. But I'm gonna end it right there. Let her finish.
That can do this better than men. The sheer audacity to tell you that abortion care is not a medical care, but we can take your daughters from your homes and drop them into the military where their life will be at risk. No, you can't decide to kill your kid because you're not prepared to become a parent. Yet, we can kill your kid because we're ready for them to become a military agent.
And by law, they're not your kids. They're their kids. And so they can do this. And kid, I mean, if you look up the definition of the word kid, it means like a child goat. You know what I'm saying? That's prepared for the slaughter, man. And that's why they call us kids. The word kids ain't in the Bible. Goats are. So understand what they when they put these words on us like this here, and they change the meaning of it or give us a meaning. Be mindful of that, man. Be mindful of this devil. Everything they do is fucking wicked, and you can't trust the damn thing that come out of their mouth. Yeah, but I'll end it right there, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Bakakwadash. Hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Stay firm. Stay watching. Okay? And stay prayed up. Stay faithful. Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakatham, Shalom.